So it wasn't my lack of knowledge that was keeping me from getting started. It was, hey, what's up, everybody? Back again today. And, I've said from the very beginning that I want to be completely transparent on this channel. I want to talk about my numbers, good, bad, or ugly. And so I'm back today to talk about my second week being a YouTuber. So whether you're just curious about how I'm doing or whether you're maybe thinking about starting a channel for yourself, stay till the end and you'll see not only my numbers, you'll see how I'm performing in the first 2 weeks, but also my lessons learned this past week. So let's get into it. Let's start with a quick review of week one. And as you can see, just as a reminder, I did a video on this, but in week one, I had 2,874 total views. And during that week, I uploaded 2 regular videos and 5 shorts. So you can see down here that, how these performed during that week in, varying degrees. Obviously, this shocking July 2024 Costco prices you need to see was clearly my best video, and it's been my best video on the channel so far. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. You'll see that in the next part here when we look at week 2, how these numbers kind of carried over into that. All right, so during week 2, I uploaded 2 long form videos and I uploaded 2 different shorts. So total for the week, I got 1,434 views. I got 8 more additional subscribers. So, and you can see down here that, again, still number one this week for views was the shocking July 2024 prices. The first Costco video basically just blew up, or at least it didn't blow up in terms of YouTube. It blew up in terms of my channel, obviously. So that one is still the main reason why I got views. So, that's kind of where I'm at. All total for both weeks, I'm sitting at 4,308 views for those 2 weeks and 25 subscribers. So the good news is, if there is good news, no, the good news is that there were views and people actually watched some of my content and hopefully enjoyed some of my content, or at least, enjoyed it enough to click the subscribe button. And I got, some likes along the way and things like that. So all of that stuff is really good. The bad news is, there were lessons learned. Okay, let's put it that way. There were definitely some things that I learned in this second week that just kind of further reiterated what I already knew, which is, clearly I don't fully understand the YouTube algorithm, but we'll talk about that here in a second. In fact, why don't we just get into that right now? And we'll start with this one. One video doing well does not impact future videos. See, I kind of naively thought that they would. So the first video that I uploaded onto the channel was the unemployment video, the kind of why am I here? Why am I doing this video? That one got 251 views that you can see on here. Okay, so then I upload the second video, which is a Costco kind of like, whatever, let's go to Costco and let's see what deals they have at the Costco place, thinking, hey, that's a good idea for a video. I watch those videos on YouTube, so maybe other people would watch this one. And guess what? People did. They showed up. I got 1,600 views on that video, and I was like, yay. I'm thinking, hey, I have got this YouTube thing just totally figured out. I am killing it. I'm crushing it. I got 1,600 views on my second video. It's all just going to be downhill. The views are just going to keep coming. Yeah, that's not how it worked. That's not what happened at all, because the next video that I put up was actually the week 1 of this series, talking about my journey on YouTube. And yeah, so far it's gotten 20 views. 20. The one before it had 1,600. This one had 20. So yeah, that was a little disappointing. And then the very next day, I think it was the next day, I uploaded another video because it was right during Amazon Prime Days. And so I uploaded a video for Amazon Prime Days talking about, items that were on sale for content creators, for particularly new content creators. And yeah, that video had 15 people watch it. And again, being transparent, I'm one of those people. I watched it after I uploaded it. My wife watched it after I uploaded it. So that's 2 of the 15. So not what I was expecting or hoping for, obviously, but I mean, things happen. And what are you going to do? There's really not a lot you can do other than just kind of go, okay, well, let's see what we can learn from that. And so, yeah, that's really what I learned from that, is that one video blowing up had very little if any, impact on anything that came after it, because clearly it didn't, because the numbers don't bear that out at all. All right. So the second thing that I learned during week 2 of my YouTube journey is that shorts are a great way to get quick views, but they die off really quickly. So as you can see here, this is the graph of how my shorts have performed over time. And you can see it's like a mountain range over here. So on the day that I upload a short, most of the time it has a nice little peak and people watch it, and then it immediately just drops back down to 0. Now, it might be a little bit more helpful to actually see it in this form. This is the best short that I've had so far, the best performing short that I've had so far, that only got 923 views. And you can see how it kind of jumps up really quick in the beginning, and then it has kind of a lull, and then it jumps up again, and then it has a lull, and then that lull just never ends, and it just stays basically flatlined through the end. And all of my short content looks, in varying degrees, the graphs look exactly like this. So they all kind of go up and they look really good, and then they just flatline and everything dies. Now, I'm not an expert, certainly. I mean, clearly, basically, at this point, we all kind of know this, but I'm stating the obvious for my own purposes. I'm not an expert at shorts, though, even more so, because even when I got into this channel, my goal was not to make a bunch of shorts and things like that. I don't watch shorts. Like, that's not my gig. I don't look at TikTok. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm a YouTube guy, and I've always been a long form video YouTube guy. That's what I enjoyed watching. That's what I watch at night when I'm sitting on the couch, is long form YouTube videos. So I wasn't really planning to really even get into shorts and do shorts. The whole reason why I did it was to try to drive traffic to my long form videos. Almost with the exception of one short that I made was just something that I thought was funny. And apparently I was the only person in America, or really, if we're being honest, I was the only person in the world that thought that it was funny, because it got almost no views whatsoever. But whatever. What was I saying? I got completely off track. Oh yeah. So, but every other video except for that one was designed just to try to drive people and push them to my long form content. It had a little button on there, and you can click on it and you can watch the video. And I mean, that worked a little bit. A couple of people clicked that button and watched the full videos, but it didn't really drive as much traffic as I was hoping that it would drive. Again, it's a brand new channel. I don't know what I expected after 2 weeks of doing this. Probably whatever I had in my head that I did expect was silly and, outlandish, I guess, or maybe a better word for it is just optimistic. I was optimistic that I was going to get a ton of people just flying in and, oh, hey, we got to click on this guy. We got to see what he's talking about. Oh, he's funny. I don't know. I don't know what people would think, but I thought that I would get, I don't know, more views and stuff. But I don't know. I mean, the bottom line is, clearly the fact that I'm not a shorts guy has kind of showed up here in that I'm not getting it yet. And it's a long journey, and I'm going to continue to put out shorts, and I'm going to continue to try to put out shorts to drive traffic to long form content. I'm sure that I'll continue to do that. And if I have other things that pop into my head that I think are funny, I'll probably throw those up too, because why not at this point? But, my goal in this whole channel, whether it's shorts, long form videos, whatever, is I want to make good content that people want to see, but I also want to make content that I want to make, that I think is valuable, and I think, or maybe I think it's funny or whatever. And so I'm sure that's going to have varying degrees of success going forward. There are going to be some that do fine, and there are going to be some that absolutely flop. And maybe, just maybe, this is optimistic Kevin talking again, but maybe something will actually click. And maybe one of these shorts will go nuts, and I won't have a complete flat line like I do on all the ones that I have so far. So that was second lesson. Now let's talk about the third lesson. The third thing that I learned during this week is that video analytics don't really always seem to make sense, or at least they don't make sense to me. And let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So, everything that I've been taught, and I say taught, everything that I've learned from watching, like, I don't even know, hundreds of hours of YouTube videos from people who are experts telling me what I need to do to make my channel better and how to start a YouTube channel, basically, is that it all depends on your click through rate and your retention. Like, those are the two things that are really, really important when it comes to YouTube videos. So click through rate obviously is how many people see your video, show up on their page, and decide to actually click it. Fair enough. Easy enough. That makes sense to me. And I do still think that these are right. I do still think that these are the two most important things, that and retention. So retention, by the way, is how long people actually watch the video. If you didn't already know, you probably already know that. But just in case, it's how long people actually watch the video and how much of the duration of your video do they watch. So I do still believe that those two things probably are the two things that matter the most. And clearly, because people that are a lot smarter about YouTube than I am have said that over and over and over again. And yet, the numbers don't actually bear that out for me yet. And maybe it's because I'm a new channel. It's probably what it is. And maybe it's because the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, doesn't know anything about me. And so it's guessing and it's trying to figure out a match and whatever. But let me show you a really good example. All right, so here's my best video, the Costco video. It's gotten 1,583 views so far total in its lifespan, okay? For this particular video, when you look at the click-through rate, it had 31,600 impressions. In other words, 31,600 different people had this show up on their page where they could either choose to click on it and watch it or not. And out of those 31,600, it had a 4.2% click-through rate, and that led to 1.3 thousand views, so 1,300 views, basically. That seems really, really good. I don't know how it got to 31,000 people, but for whatever reason, it got to 31,000 people. That's who YouTube sent it out to, okay? And to go along with that, for retention, now this was an almost 20-minute video. It was 19 minutes and 58 seconds. The average view duration was 3 minutes and 34 seconds. Okay, meaning only 17.8% of it was actually watched on average. And you can see from the graph here how it just kind of immediately drops and then it just continues to kind of drop and people trickle off and they stop watching, whatever. So not good retention by any stretch of the imagination, which is probably why it stopped being shown and why it's eventually died, even after getting those 1,500 and whatever views. That's why it stopped, because it wasn't getting anything and it wasn't getting that kind of level of retention that it should have gotten. But I guess my point is how did it get to those 30 whatever thousand people in the first place? Because it's not like the retention was really good and then it just sucked. It was always this. Okay. Now compare with that. Let's keep those numbers in mind. Let's go to my next video. The one that I did immediately after this. So the very next video that I posted was the week one of this. And so that video got a total of 22 views. Very different from the numbers that we just saw a second ago, but whatever. I've already covered that. More importantly, and this is the part that makes like almost no sense to me. The last one was shown to 31,000 people in their feed. This one was shown to 83 people total. And 13.3% of them decided to click on it. That was my click-through rate. So 11 out of those 83 people. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but 13.3% is better than 4% whatever in the last video, right? And if you go to retention, it's kind of the same story here. So this was an 8-minute long video, 8 minutes, 38 seconds. My average view duration was 5.5 minutes. And it's 65% average view duration. So again, that's better than the 17% on the last video. So if these numbers are better, if click-through rate is better, and if average view duration is better, then why? And I understand that partially that goes along with the low numbers. Like, it's easier to get good retention and good click-through rate when it's not shown to that many people. But I guess my question is why? Why was that one video shown to 30 something thousand people and then the very next video was only shown to 80 people? Like, I don't get that. And that's again, that's my learning and that's me not really fully understanding and I don't think any of us do really fully understand the YouTube algorithm other than the person who built it or the team of people who built it. I'm sure they could probably tell you all about exactly what it's doing. But all of us who are just kind of out here, we don't have that luxury and we don't know all the ins and outs of it, of exactly what it's doing every minute of the day and why it's doing what it's doing, why it gives this video over here from the exact same creator. This video gets 30,000 something views and this one gets 80 views. I don't know. I can't figure it out. It's not my job to know. My job is to, well, my job, it's not really my job, but it's my task, I guess, is the way I'll say it, is for me to just continue to put out videos, to try to put out the best content that I possibly can and hope for the best. It's one of the things that can be very frustrating about YouTube is, or at least as a new content creator, because you literally have no idea. I have no idea even this video that I'm making for you right now, I'm going to spend, I don't even know how many hours tomorrow editing this video and creating B-roll for the video so that hopefully it keeps some kind of retention and people will, I don't know, laugh at some point or at least be semi-entertained by what I'm doing. So I'll spend countless hours doing all of that and I will upload this video and I will do it with fingers crossed and be like, oh, please, YouTube algorithm, police people or whatever, please choose to send this out to a bunch of people. And I have no idea. This could be the next one that hits 1,600 views or more for all I know, or it can be the next one that gets 25 views, or it can be even less than that. I don't know. I might get 2 views between me and my wife. And sometimes she watches them twice, so that might be 3 views. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what it's going to turn out to be. And that's both the frustrating thing. And also it's I don't know, this is optimistic Kevin putting the optimistic Kevin hat on again, that's one of the things that's kind of exciting about YouTube is you don't know. And, all those people that do end up getting that viral video, that person that all of a sudden, and you see these stories all the time, right? You see these folks who, on their 3rd video, they got 1.7 million views and they got 10,000 subscribers and all of a sudden they were monetized and they were able to start putting ads and then they take that out and they keep showing you and in my first year on YouTube I made blah 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 $600,000. That stuff happens and it's exciting for them and you don't know if you're going to be the next one that happens to, or if you're going to be the other side of it. And the ones that I see these videos on YouTube all the time too, people who have literally been on YouTube for years and they've been creating content for years and they still haven't hit the 1,000 subscribers that you need to monetize or the 4,000 watch hours. They still haven't hit those metrics. And you don't know, like I could be in either one of those 2 camps, and that's the exciting part and also the frustrating part all at the same time. I think I've already said that, but I'm going to say it that last time. Anyway, the point of all of this is I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. I'm going to continue to share metrics with all of you, whether you're watching or not. I'm going to do it because I said I was. And because I said in the beginning that I was going to be transparent and that I was going to talk about this journey towards monetization of this channel and show you where I'm at and show you how it's going. And so that if you are one of those people who's sitting there kind of thinking like I was, because before I started this channel, I watched countless videos of people trying to figure out, okay, well, what do I do and how do I do it and whatever. And the whole time, all I was really doing was delaying my own start. All I was really doing was trying to, I was telling myself, oh, I don't know enough yet. So I gotta learn a little bit more before I actually get started. And the reality is, it wasn't that. It wasn't that I didn't know enough to start a YouTube channel. Hell, I had a YouTube channel many, many years ago. And so I knew how to do a YouTube channel. I knew how to create video. I knew how to edit video. I knew those things, not maybe the best in the world at doing any one of those things, or definitely not the best in the world at doing any one of those things, but I knew enough to certainly get started. So it wasn't my lack of knowledge that was keeping me from getting started. It was, I don't know, fear, maybe. It was fear of the unknown and not knowing what was going to actually happen, and would anybody actually watch anything that I had to say. That played a big role in it. And if you're one of those people right now who's sitting there watching this video and you've been contemplating, is there part of that for you? Probably. Where you're going, man, I don't know if I know enough. I don't know if I'm an expert in any one thing enough to talk about it on camera or whatever. And guess what? I'm not either. Like, am I an expert in going to Costco and finding deals? No, there's better people on YouTube that do that. There's people that have more knowledge in that than I do. But here's the good news. I probably have more knowledge on that than the average person, which means that to most people watching the channel, I can at least provide some kind of a service there. Plus, I'm actually taking the time to do these things and go and find these deals or whatever. If that's the video that we're talking about, is a Costco video, which I've made a couple of them, and I've got another one that I still need to edit and get out. So there's going to be another one coming of that. And there's probably going to be more of that, because it's something that I enjoy doing, and it's something that I think can provide at least some level of value to people. Is they don't have to go and like go up and down every single freaking aisle of their Costco store to try to find the best deals. Instead, I can kind of guide them, hopefully in some way, by doing that. But that's how all of this works. It's, what can I provide some kind of a value for, and, hopefully give someone a reason to watch this, and give someone a reason to hit the like button. If you haven't already, maybe hit that like button. That'd be really cool. Or, I don't know, maybe even leave a comment and show some kind of support or some kind of an engagement. Ask a question, whatever. In fact, you know what? If you're still watching this video right now, and which maybe it's just me and my wife, but if you're still watching this video right now and you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel, leave me a comment. Let me know what's stopping you. Why haven't you started yet? And I'm not saying that with judgment. Please don't take it the wrong way. I'm not saying like, whoa, why haven't you started yet? You need to. I'm not saying it that way. I'm just asking, like, legitimately, because maybe you know exactly why you haven't started yet, and maybe you don't. Maybe you think you know, but subconsciously, maybe there's something else going on there. I'm not trying to be like, now I'm putting on psychological hat, Kevin, I guess, which is weird. I don't know. Yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know what it is that's kept you from starting already. Or if you have already started, let me know if you had a delay and something that kept you from kind of jumping right in the first place. Anyway, that's all I've got for this particular video. But if you want to see more from me, if you want to see more of my videos, click right here. You can check out, maybe whatever video you haven't watched yet. And hopefully, if you watch some of these videos and you decide, hey, maybe I want to follow along on this journey. Maybe I want to see where this guy's going with this thing. Then click the subscribe button and come back and follow along, and let's go through this little journey together, if you will. So that's all I got. Thank you all. I'll see you on the next one.